Welcome to Ball Talk Deep, where we talk deep about ball. It's Andrade and Irwin back at it again. Drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment before we get into it. We post 5+ videos a week. And
guys,
it's about that time.
Who the hell was expecting this matchup?
This guy.
For the conference finals. I wasn't expecting it. Well,
I wasn't
half
expecting
of it.
the Suns.
I was expecting Suns versus Jazz, but then, the Clippers.
Check out that video.
Clippers does this bullshit, but hey, actually, no, let me tone down the negativity.
I've been telling him Terrence Mann was going to step up. I've been telling him.
Congrats.
I didn't say shit. Like
congrats to.
Say watch out for PG.
Congrats to the Clippers, man. You guys made your first ever Western Conference Finals.
That's crazy. 50 years. 50 years.
Shit.
50 years.
Man.
Congrats on that. That's for real. Like, shout out to all the Clippers fans. Shout out to LA. It's still not Clippers Nation. Like, LA is still not Clippers now. But you guys are this much closer to maybe one day surpassing it.
And you know what? For a fact, there's a lot of Lakers fans who are pissed the fuck off.
You think so?
Of course, man.
At least you still got your city to root for.
Yeah, you guys still got Kyle Kuzma. What? Superstar for the Shanghai Sharks. What?
PG stole all of Kuzma's talent. That's
but as you guys already know, man, we're going to hop into Western Conference Finals. Like, we're going to give our thoughts, our takeaways, and our predictions regarding that, man. What do you think?
All right. I actually think this is a very interesting matchup because two big things you guys got to look out with each team. The Phoenix Suns have reached the Western Conference Finals through a path that, let's be honest, was not very difficult for them in the sense that they faced two injured teams with major injuries. One, the Nuggets did not have Jamal Murray, which, as high as Irwin was on the Utah Jazz, that's how high I was on the Denver Nuggets to make it this year to at least to the Western Conference Finals, but even the finals. This is before Murray got injured. And then the Lakers, which everybody kept saying that was an 7 seed, 8 seed that would pass through. But obviously, LeBron being injured, AD being out, it just didn't help. And then you got the Clippers on the other hand, where unlike the Suns, they have had this fucking turbulent fucking mission to just get to the conference final. They've been trudging. Like Lord of the Rings. They're Frodo and his boy, Frodo's boy. I can't remember his name now. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, Sam and Frodo.
There you go. Sam and Frodo going through, getting to the volcano or whatever it was.
Mordor.
Hey,
what the fuck? You uncultured swine.
But hey, what do you mean? I know about Lord.
The Rings,
I actually rewatched the trilogy like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
But they're like that, where PG and Kawhi are pushing, carrying this team, and they went down 2-0 two times. I'll
tell you this,
and have
man.
been able to break through that wall and reach this promise.
I'll tell you this, man. Just like last year, we had like, hey, don't fuck with the down 3-1 Nuggets. We have this year's version of that is don't fuck with the down 0-2 Clippers.
That's true.
Because they done it not once, but twice.
And if you made it this far, I know there's gonna be some viewers like, all right, bro, shit, you don't gotta summarize how we got to this point because obviously we watch basketball. We're watching this fucking video. All right, bro, that's not the fucking point of me saying saying that.
It's like there's something to that.
Yeah,
and
point. Yeah, and the thing that I wanted to point those things out is because I think that's gonna have a huge factor, a significant factor to the Clippers beating the Suns, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because once you've been through shit with your squad and you've seen people rise up to the occasion, it's a little different to another team that has not been through those trials and tribulations. Side note, go check out Ace of Trial and Tribulations, one of the most underrated hip hop albums in the 2010s. But anyways, you just haven't seen that, so you don't know who will. And on top of that, let's keep in mind that this is a Suns team that hasn't been to the playoffs in forever. So this core that they have going on, not a lot of playoff experience as a whole. As opposed to the Clippers, when you look at all those individual players and the squad as a whole, a lot of playoff experience. So that combined with all the way that they got to this point is gonna have, I'm pretty sure, is gonna have a huge influence on how the series plays out.
Okay, look, man.
So obviously, I believe the Clippers are gonna take this series.
This guy's delusional, but then again, I've been taking mad L's. Shit. I mean,
this man was so certain.
Hey, it's all good. It happens.
It happens to the finals.
It happens. Western
I was
Conference
like second
finals.
round.
Okay, but a couple things. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. Paul George, I've been ranking on your ass. I'm saying pandemic P.
This is the playoff P he's been talking about. We're finally seeing it.
I mean, shit. It's been a long time.
This must be that guy.
Paul George, you are no longer pandemic P.
Wait a minute. Okay, I didn't think about this actually before. You were gonna get a Donovan Mitchell jersey if the Jazz made it to the Western Conference. You know where I'm gonna go with this?
Oh, get a Paul George.
So yeah, what?
Maybe. I mean, shit. Paul George is no longer pandemic P.
That'd be funny.
But Kristaps Porzingis, my boy, I'm sorry, man. He took his place. You're the new pandemic P. When it
I'm
comes
gonna
to
have
this.
to agree with that.
Okay, when it comes to that.
That's
However,
funny.
now, while he gets credit, Terrence Mann, he saved your ass in Game 6. While he did have a good Game 6, Paul George, it was not enough in my point to be like, yo, that's a superstar.
But he
like,
kept that ship
did.
afloat.
He
That's
did.
why he deserves the credit.
I give him that. But Terrence Mann saved your ass because nobody in their mothers was expecting this
39 points.
39 points.
7 of 10
like,
from the
yo,
3.
all
Like,
right, bro.
and even there's that clip of Donovan Mitchell.
And Patrick Beverly all of a sudden becoming Steph Curry out there making those fucking
Actually,
threes.
he had
I'm
one or
like,
two
yeah, I'm
threes.
like, yo, what
But
looking
like,
at
did you
that?
see that video of Donovan Mitchell like looking at the stat sheet in the press conference? He's like shocked when he actually reads Terrence Mann. Like he knew Terrence had a great game, but he's like, he only missed 6 shots.
Okay.
You saw that?
Okay, yeah, of course. And okay, here's where I'm gonna go with the Suns. Chris Paul, he's already gonna be out for Game 1 because of the COVID protocol. They're gonna need him, and I know some fans have said in the comments, look, Chris Paul is not as much as we say. Unfortunately, I hope I'm wrong about this, but Suns fans, you're gonna see how important Chris Paul is to his team, because the Chris Paul effect is a real thing. But the good thing is, you have your best player in Devin Booker. He's gonna be available. He's gonna do his thing. You have your starting center in DeAndre Ayton to be able to do his thing. Bridges, Crowder, hot and cold, be able to do his thing as well. But you guys are gonna need Chris Paul to be able to close out this series in a short amount of games, 5 or 6 games.
So you got the Suns?
I still got the Suns. I got the Suns.
To the finals.
I got the Suns to the finals because Clippers. Look,
I'm sorry, guys.
I'm sorry.
When Irwin picks a pick, just know that you want to bet the opposite.
No. I'm not a fan of either of these two teams, but let's face it, man. Objectively, without Kawhi Leonard, you guys are not making it.
Kawhi's
to
coming
the
back,
finals.
bro. All right.
He's already
Are you
out.
finished your?
He's already out.
So you said all your points on why you think the Suns are going to win
Game
it?
1. If he does not, I could have right. If Kawhi does not come back in this series, you guys are not making it to the finals.
Okay, I got that. I don't 100% disagree with, but all right. These are my takeaway. Not my take. My points on why I think the Clippers are going to take this series. All right, I'll start with the Suns. You keep saying that CB3 effect, which I 1,000% agree with, but let's not forget Chris Paul has had a lingering injury during these entire playoffs.
Oh, one thing as well that I want to bring up, Cameron Payne.
I was like, what?
He's been more than a capable backup for the Suns. Has been able to show that he can hold the ship steady, in the absence of Chris Paul.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give that,
right.
to the Suns.
Well, no, okay, actually, fair point. But if Chris Paul isn't on the floor for the majority, or at some point that injury gets too harsh and they have to take him out for a few games.
No, it's not an injury.
Then
it's because of COVID. That's why he's out.
No. But he's got that shoulder injury.
Yeah, man. But he's got some rest
and,
on that.
Oh, bro, that shit's been lingering for him for a
Yeah.
minute. Even against the injured teams, he's even like they've pointed out that how it's been like affecting him.
It has.
So
but
against a healthy team, imagine a fuckboy like Patrick Beverly, like just fucking on and on and on him. Like, I'm not saying Patrick Beverly's gonna hurt him, but when you got someone on you, that that injury, not just Patrick, but just as a whole, like that shit comes back harder. Like when you're playing pickup ball, you got a small injury, and there's always that fucktard that like pushes things a little too far.
Yeah.
So it may happen. I'm not saying I want it to happen, guys. I'm just saying like, just keep that in mind. And even as the series progresses, because remember now Chris Paul's been playing more and more and more, and it's just like he's a 36, 37-year-old. It just keeps, he's just more tired. So that's one thing. Kawhi, my bet on the Clippers is that Kawhi is playing the majority of these games. To have no doubt. If Kawhi isn't playing the majority of these games,
Clippers in 7.
I'm not so sure about I'm not so high on the Clippers. Third thing is Kawhi and PG. Like I said, 2 stars versus 1 star. This is when I was talking about the Jazz. With the Suns, it's not so thing. It's not as big of a thing. Now, supporting cast. That's why I had the Clippers over the Jazz. As long as the supporting cast stepped up. One thing I'm going to watch out for is Terrence Mann in this series. Not popping off for another 30-plus game, but I think now he's gained a little more confidence. Even in the post-game interview for Game 6, PG said, it was PG and Terrence getting interviewed together with Rachel Nichols, and PG was saying, like, we've been telling him take more shots, we've been telling him to attack more, we've been telling, like, I'm paraphrasing, guys, but like he was encouraging it, you know. And now he's had that game, he's getting more experience in the playoffs. Do not be surprised if maybe he steps up and has more moments along this series. Same as Reggie Jackson, Marcus Morris, all these people, even Kennard, they have moments. This Clippers team is fairly deep. You know what I'm saying? I would say it's even arguably more deep than the Suns in terms of who can step up and be a shot creator at any given moment, whether they're hot or someone is just unexpectedly falls and they have to step up. And you just never know. And I'm not going to say playoff Rondo, but they still got playoff Rondo.
And
things have slowed down
at all, bro.
Now think about CP3 versus Rondo, two of the highest IQs in the NBA on the floor against each other with their squads.
Rondo.
I think Rondo would understand more how like CP3 plays, whatever.
Rondo's barely getting on the floor, bro.
But one thing I do want to keep in mind is Chris Paul has been with the Clippers organization for years, or had been with for years, so he knows some of the schematics. I don't know if that's gonna play as big of a thing because this is a different squad and a different coach. And then lastly, who's the better coach in this series?
Monty Williams.
Objectively,
Monty Williams is a pretty good.
He is a good coach. But overall, who would you say is the better coach?
Coach Lou is a champion, so I'm gonna give it to Coach Lou.
And I've said it's time and time again. Postseason, obviously, it's about the players, but the coaches play a bigger factor than ever when it comes to the postseason because they are the chess masters moving the chess pieces. And Ty Lue proved in the Jazz series that he can adapt, not just game to game, but legit from a first half to a second half. That motherfucker can adapt and move the squad differently. And this Clippers team is a different Clippers team. This is not the same Clippers team we saw last year. This is a Clippers team that steps up. They seem to be more in tune as a team, as a whole, not just, oh, these are two stars and this is everybody else. You get what I mean? And they're playing together as a fam, as a brotherhood, and for each other. And all that tied in with Lou's experience and everything, and Kawhi being Kawhi and PG sometimes being playoff P. That's why I got the Suns, man.
Hey, okay.
And I think we're gonna see that shit play out.
You got the Suns, or you got?
I got the.
Fuck. Yeah, man.
Oh
this man, shit.
Yeah, now people are gonna grab like, yo, I thought you said you called the Suns.
The Clippers, how many games?
Clippers actually, this is the first time.
So okay, if Kawhi is healthy, how many games, Clippers?
Even with Kawhi healthy,
let's say he comes back in game 2.
This is one of the few times where, like, usually I'll be like, 6 or 7, and that's still what I legitimately stand on, 6 or 7, because honestly, most of the times it is very hard to say 6 or 7. But this is 6 or 7 where, like, I'm leaning on. I think this is gonna go to 7 games.
Yeah, assuming Kawhi comes back, Chris Paul comes back, it's gonna go either if Kawhi does not come back, Suns in 6. But I'm assuming Kawhi comes back, it's gonna be Suns in 7. They're the higher seed, number 2. There's why you fight for that home court advantage at the end.
And how'd that work out for the Jazz?
You laugh at it. It doesn't
and
mean
Utah that has one of the greatest home court advantages, along with like Denver.
Hey man, just like shit. I could be wrong. It could happen. We'll see.
Oh, you know what's funny though?
What?
I saw this tweet, like, either way we're watching CP3 versus the Clippers for who gets to play Blake Griffin in the finals.
Yeah, that's some crazy ass shit.
Oh, man, that is crazy.
Who knows? Maybe
low key, I would root for the Suns just because I would love to see Chris Paul and Blake Griffin on the court during the finals, and I'm sure there's gonna be some type of drama moment.
We'll see what happens, man. But guys, let us know what you get.
Also, keep in mind, or Steve Ballmer on the court talking shit to Blake Griffin. This is so funny because we're just assuming the Nets are gonna make it to the finals. But I mean,
with the way how Giannis is airballing free throws,
not just that. I mean, come on. If the Nets make it to against Philly or Hawks.
But guys,
I got Nets.
Let us know what you think in the comments, man. Clippers fans, what y'all think.
Clippers or Suns? Who's
Suns
taking
fans,
it?
what do you think? I bet there are gonna be some Suns fans in the comments. They're gonna say Suns in 4. I'm like, what? Is it gonna happen again? Shit. Let us know what you got. Just don't punch us like that guy. That hood right there. Either way, appreciate all the love and the hate. You guys already know. Catch us on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, and all podcast streaming platforms. We'll catch you guys soon. For now,
Take
later.
care.